Hello, folks. Welcome to the Genuinely Interested podcast. My name is Roy Bensby, and I'm your host. And I want to explain a little bit about the podcast before we start the show this week. This podcast is an opportunity for me to speak with some of the most interesting people I know that I can find on the internet. So either with amazing talents or achievements or just unbelievable life stories or invaluable insights into areas that they have dedicated their lives to studying. I sit down with these amazing individuals from all across the world. Really, I've talked to people from Slovenia to the Czech Republic to Australia to countries in Africa and South America, really just all over the world. And I try to ask them the questions that will hopefully help you extract something valuable or learn something new or just get inspired by. And I do hope that you do get inspired by these talks with some sort of a call to action, maybe change something that you wanted to change for a while, or even just enjoy, detaching from the world for an hour and listening to some great conversations. So whatever it is that you get from this, I do hope that you extract something from it and enjoy the conversations. All these episodes are available on all the major podcast platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Google, and the rest of them. You can also find the episodes on my website, which is roybensv.com. You can find a lot of other information about me there as well, from photos to a little bit more insights into who I am, if you're interested. And, you can always go to social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me there. I'm pretty active on both those platforms, although the only ones I have. And I try to post regularly so you can stay up to date. And also be sure to put your email on the website. I shoot emails out with updates, news, any new current information that I have will be sent via those emails and social media platforms. So yeah, make sure you're in the loop. Today on the podcast, we have Johnathan Buckhouse. Johnathan is a pro snowboarder who has a really cool YouTube channel, and he just does what he loves to do, and he loves snowboarding. And he set an intention a few years back, and what he wanted to do was just snowboard. He wanted to make a living and have a really cool channel and add a lot of value to his subscribers and to his viewers and make really, really cool videos. And he set out to do it, and he did it. And it took time and effort, and there's a learning curve, and he did it all. And now he's got a really cool, successful YouTube channel, and I watch his videos, and I feel a little bit jealous seeing him snowboarding in some of Colorado's finest powder, but it makes me want to work a little bit harder on getting out there, especially this year with COVID. I feel like we all need to go out as much as possible, especially now. This is the best time. It's an outdoors activity. You're burning calories. You're connecting with nature. It's a win-win. There's no bad side, no downside here. So yeah, we had a really fun podcast. He told me the story of how everything came to be, the goals that he set out, and how he skied a 130-day season, which is bonkers, because that's about 4.5 months of just straight snowboarding. So that's pretty insane and pretty inspiring. I'd love to do something like that. I once had a goal. I mean, I still kind of have it. It's on my wish list, on my bucket list of goals, to do a whole season just snowboarding nonstop. So it's amazing to see him do it. But yeah, we covered a lot of different issues. His YouTube channel, how he grew it, how it became a full-fledged business, the Colorado powder, which is infamous, famous, notorious. It's one of the best places in the world for powder, apparently. I've never been, but I've heard only good things. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. I love snowboarding, obviously. I love outdoors. And Johnathan is a true snowboarder. You can feel his passion, his love for snowboarding with his videos, with how he talks about it. So I think you're really going to enjoy this podcast. And without further ado, here is Johnathan Buckhouse. Enjoy the podcast, everyone.
The Genuinely Interested Podcast.
Hey, Jonathan.
What's up?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Just had a sick pow day at Breckenridge Ski Resort and stoking.
I feel like this podcast is gonna break my heart because it's gonna be a lot of you telling me how good the mountains
Yeah,
are and how much
yeah.
you're snowboarding, and me just basically crying on the other side of the microphone. That's essentially what this podcast is gonna be.
I'm sorry about that, man, but it's gonna still gonna be a good time.
It's dude, it's I'm jealous. Like we don't really have too much snow right now on the East Coast. I'm in Connecticut. So nothing really, just some rain and uh and maybe a little bit of snow in Vermont, but nothing like what you're getting in Colorado or in kind of the West Coast, California and British Columbia maybe.
Yeah, I had a bunch of the East Coast kids reach out to me and be like, "Yo, we got some resorts opening up. When you coming to the East Coast?" I'm like, "Hold on, I'm gonna do a week on the East." I definitely try to get out to the East Coast once a year to stoke out the East Coast kids, but we gotta wait for more snow. Like at least have all the runs open out there. And but then yeah, over here in Colorado, all of our resorts are opening up. But this is the slowest start to a ski season I've experienced in my 11 years up here in Summit County. Going into Thanksgiving weekend with like A Basin having just one run open. They're not even open top to bottom. And Keystone's definitely, I think, doing the best for opening up terrain. Breck did really good with this snowstorm. They got about 5 or 6 inches. So they were like definitely about to like drop some ropes and kind of push it. But there were still like bushes hanging out between the snow and stuff. So they were a little cautious about it. But yeah, normally by this time, I usually feel like parks are halfway open. They got about like 50, 60% of their runs open, not like 5, 6 runs. So it's a slow year for sure, but it was going to be a slow year anyway with all the COVID stuff going on. So if we're going to get a slow snow year and it's going to be super warm, might as well be the year they were going to plan on opening late anyways.
Yeah. Oh, so regardless, even without COVID, this was not a good year so far.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. So let's just put it together. I'd rather have a bad year and COVID in one year, and then next year let's have a great PAL season.
oh, dude, I was reading that I think because of I don't know, remember El Nino, one of them that the Northeast could be another relatively snowless season
Oh
this year.
no.
And I was just like, dude, 2020 just sucks. I'm really over 2020. Like, there's just other than I don't know, depending on what your politics are, other than like Biden, there's really haven't been any good news this year. Like none.
See, I am on an opposite spectrum of this because what I've done since COVID hit is I doubled down on my stuff. I went harder than I ever went in a way. Because like last year when the resorts shut down, people couldn't go skiing and snowboarding, so they immediately stopped watching my videos. Like, well, I can't ski and snowboard. Why would I watch skiing and snowboarding? Except for my super fans, the ones that truly support me, they stuck around all summer. And I was able to create the sickest bond with my audience and really got to know a lot of the ones that are truly supporting the channel. And kind of I'm going into this season with a community that is so strong. And I built that because of what happened. But on top of that, when I said I doubled down, I bought a camper. I packed my family up. And the moment ski resorts opened up in the summer, we went to Beartooth Basin in Montana, which is a summer ski resort. I went and spent 42 days straight in the camper in Oregon. And we rode Mount Hood, which is a unicorn. If you've never been to Mount Hood, I highly recommend heading out to Oregon, experiencing it. You're at the campsite, it's raining. You're like, man, this sucks. I guess I'm going to try and snowboard, say goodbye to the wife and kids, go up a chairlift, and then you're above the clouds snowboarding the sickest day ever. I mean, you're above the clouds. There's no clouds above you. It's bluebird, but they're all below you. And then you feel guilty because the wife and kid are in a rainstorm, but you're having like the sickest sunny day of all time, ripping the coolest park. And so that was really exciting. And then I went out to the East Coast. I went to Liberty Snowflex in Virginia, which is an artificial snow turf. And it's like a carpet, almost like an AstroTurf, and you snowboard it. It was insane. It was like the weirdest experience of my life. It's like 96 to 110 degrees, and you're trying to snowboard it, and just like, and it's crazy.
How does it feel? Like, how's the surface? Does it have the same feel to snow?
Yes and no. It's like it's so weird. It's so weird. I think if you snowboarded a lot of ice, you'd be very comfortable with it. You cannot set an edge really. So like I really struggled spinning off of the jump and all that stuff. But it still has a purpose, and I would say it's way better than nothing. But so I did that, and that was a great experience. But then I also went back out to the East Coast and went to Big Snow in New Jersey, and that was a really good time because I didn't know it was
place?
the indoor place in New Jersey. Yeah, it was a great because I brought the family because we were like, oh, this is a big mall, it's going to be awesome. But then we showed up and COVID had everything closed. We didn't realize that. But then we realized that New York City's right there because I mean I grew up in Colorado, so I have no idea what the East Coast is like. I think states are huge. I go to the East Coast and states are tiny. and so I'm like, is that New York City? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, well, let's just do that with the family. So we got to see New York City, which we weren't expecting to do. Snowboarded in the Snow Dome. I took my 3-year-old, he was 2 at the time, and we actually did runs for the first time in the Snow Dome. So we got to ride the chairlift. And what I'm getting at is like, I feel bad because people are having this terrible year because of COVID and everything, but I kind of had like the sickest year of my life. And then because of COVID, it's also causing more people to search snowboarding and skiing online, which is causing my channel to absolutely explode. So I'm having like the best start to a year with my YouTube channel than I've ever had before.
Dude, that's amazing. I want people to succeed. I want people to be happy. I want people to have a good time and flourish. But and there's always winners, right? Like if you look at COVID, there are clearly winners from, I don't know, people that are making hand sanitizers to Amazon to Whole Foods.
Plexiglass.
Yeah, there's
makers.
I don't know, Winnebago. There was buying them left and right. So there's always going to be winners. There's always going to be people who, even through a pandemic, will do really well. So it's amazing. And for me as well. I mean, I started the podcast earlier this year. You know, it's a steady growth, but more than that, I really enjoy it. So there's always positives. You just kind of got to look at the positive, try to find it.
Oh, 100%. And I'm stoked that you said you enjoy it because I mean, I've been doing YouTube for 5 years now. And if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be at the level that I'm at where I do it for a living. The enjoyment's what gets you through those lulls, the time when you go from getting 100 subscribers a day to literally getting no subscribers for 4 months. Like, you gotta love what you're doing. And that's what happened with COVID.
And what kind of started for you? Was it you? Wait, so let me back up actually a little bit. When did you start? I mean, you're from Colorado. I'm assuming you started snowboarding when you were like 2, right? Like probably very early.
No, not at all. Okay, so I was born in Wisconsin, but I grew up in Colorado. My parents moved here when I was 5. So I would consider myself a Colorado native because I only remember Colorado. Yeah. And so the first time I went snowboarding, I was like 11 years old. My dad kind of separated from my mom and disappeared from like the age of 8 to 16. So my dad really wasn't in my life. And so my mom went to this church and I was 11 years old. And some of the older kids, like the really cool kids that I looked up to, snowboarded. And they're like in their 20s and everything. And when I was 11, they were like, yo, Johnathan, you want to go snowboarding? And I was like, what? Me? You want to take me snowboarding? No way. The cool guys want to take this guy snowboarding. And after that one time of them taking me, they clicked in my head. I was like, I'm going to grow up and I'm going to be a snowboarder. Like, that's all I wanted to be, a snowboarder. I didn't know what that meant, how I was going to do it, whatever it was. I was like, I'm going to be a snowboarder.
Yeah.
But because my mom was a single mom of 5 kids, my dad was around, he paid child support, but he like wasn't there. Like it was like my mom and 5 kids. It was pretty tough. So there wasn't money to go do a sport like snowboarding. So whenever the cool kids could afford it, they would sometimes take me. So from like 11 to like 16, I'd go, I think once a season maybe. So like I kind of had concepts, but not really. More like could J-turn, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I really kind of got into snowboarding when I was like 16, 17. And then after I graduated high school, I moved up to the mountains because I was working. I graduated and was told I should go to college. I did college, worked at PetSmart part-time and McDonald's part-time in order to get full-time hours, and hated my life. I was like, this is like the worst thing ever, dude. I'm working at McDonald's, which is like every kid's nightmare. Yeah. And then I wasn't making any money, and like all I wanted to do was go snowboard. So I was sick of driving up. It was like a 2.5 hour drive to get to Keystone Ski Resort. So I was like, that's it. I'm moving up. and I got a job at Breckenridge Ski Resort as a ticket scanner when I was 18 years old. I did that for a full season, and then I did it for half of a season. And I took out a school loan so I could snowboard more. So I took out a school loan so I could work less and snowboard more. Because that first year I was like, dude, if I work for a ski resort, I never get to ride. I scanned tickets and I watched people snowboard for a whole season, and it literally killed my soul. I was like, this is like awful. Like I was sold this dream that I'm going to get to ride every single day and I get one run. Like this is killing me.
But like on your off days, would you be able to ski for free? No?
Yeah, but I'd rather pay the $1,000 for a season pass and do my type of snowboarding every single day than like just get a weekend. Because like I said, I wanted to be a snowboarder. I like moved to the mountain being like, I'm going to be a pro snowboarder. And then I got to the mountains and realized how good people were at snowboarding. It's like one of those things where when you're so ignorant with something, you think it's attainable until you start doing it. And then here I am, a good snowboarder, and I think I'm terrible, but I'm really like a pretty solid rider. But I'm like, there's so much I could get better at. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you really dive into something and learn the craft. So after like being in the mountains for like 2 years, I was like, dude, working for the resorts are not the move. I got a job at the Target in Silverthorne, that's up here. And I worked 2 to 10 for a lot of years because I got to snowboard every single morning. I had to go ride every morning, go work, go home, I was living the dream. I was like, dude, this is it. This is all I want for the rest of my life. I'm doing it. I'm snowboarding. I'm a snowboarder. I live the lifestyle and I get to snowboard. And the cool thing was I influenced my little brother enough that he was like, dude, I want to graduate and come up and do what you did. And it was really cool. He graduated when he was 17. He moved up here when he was 17, moved in with me. I got him a job at Target, and I was like, here we go. We're about to start our season. We're going to ride every single day. And like, I hope you're ready, because riding every single day is not easy. And I'm going to take you like right into it. And he was like, you know what we should do? We should start a YouTube channel. I was like, no, not at all. All I want to do is snowboard. I don't want to make videos. I don't want to hold a camera. I just want to go out and ride. He's like, dude, vlogging is blowing up. And it was blowing up back in that time. He's like, no one's making snowboard content. The only people that were making snowboard content was Snowboard Pro Camp and Snowboard Addiction. They're like the two biggest snowboard channels right now on YouTube. And they make like how-to videos, and they weren't really making anything that was like lifestyle oriented. And so there was a market. And this is the cool thing is it's a niche. Like skiing and snowboarding is a niche. Mm-hmm. And that's what you kind of need to find if you're trying to do social media. You got to find something that's different, but also be yourself in it and all that stuff. So I was like, all right, bro, only because of you, we're going to start this YouTube channel because you want to do it with me. I was like, worst case scenario, I get a bunch of super awesome videos with my little brother. Best case scenario, it could lead to something. And I don't know what that is, but we'll do it. And so we started, I was like, we're going to ride 130 days this season. That's our goal. And I was riding like 110, 120 days a season. And I was like, 130 days, it'll be the most I've ever ridden. We'll make a video about it. Every single day will be like day 1, day 2, day 20, and like we'll count up. And then as people, and so that was like, in my head, I was like, that's the strategy. We'll see if people want to join us on this journey. And I had no idea that they would. And people loved it. And so that first year, we got about 4,000 subscribers, and they kind of all jumped on board from like the first couple of days. I was blown away. Like day 1 video hit like 10,000 views. It was like the first ever vlog made at A Basin, and it did really well. Got us a bunch of subscribers. And I think a month after we started the channel, we hit our first 1,000 subscribers. And I was like, okay, this is actually going somewhere. And this was before, I don't know if you heard about it, the YouTube adpocalypse or whatever. And that was like back when YouTube was paying people a ton of money to put videos on there. I can't believe how much money they were paying me when I go back and look at my analytics. Yeah, I mean, it's like quadruple what I make now off views. And so I'm a little sad when I look back at it.
So how did their financial model change?
I just think they lost a lot of big time ad sponsors. And I think they made what's called Google preferred. So they pick like specific huge creators and they get a better CPM and things like that. But there's definitely, my CPM definitely changed from the first year I was making YouTube to the second year. But at the end of the first year, we hit 4,000 subscribers. I was like, wow, that was really cool. And a ton of fun with my brother. But my brother was like, hey, bro, that was sick. But I hate snowboarding every single day. He's like, I committed to 130 days. I did it. I'm done. I'm moving home.
Really? He hated it?
Yeah, he was like, I like snowboarding once or twice a season.
Well, that's the way to find out, right?
Yeah, dude. baptism by fire. So
Yeah.
we had a great year, and I'll always remember that year with my brother. And I go back and watch those videos. And one, I'm like, dude, I was terrible at YouTube and talking to a camera. But two, like, it's a really good time to like go back and see me and my brother and just my life back 4 years ago and what I was doing. And that was also the year I found out that we were having my first kid. So I was like, all right, my life's definitely changing. And a bunch of people told me, they're like, good luck snowboarding 130 days now that you have a kid. And that really, it was like one comment. And that one comment still like is burned in my brain. I was like, nah, dude, I didn't have a kid and my life change. I had a kid to make my life better. And so I vowed that I will forever always get more than 130 days from that. However, that second season, it did not go as ideal because I changed jobs. I started working for Frito-Lay as a chip vendor, but I took that job knowing that the YouTube channel worked and I feel like I could turn it into a career. And so I worked this job and it paid well, helped me with my wife not working that first year of having the kid, but I did end up snowboarding less. And it was actually the least I've ever snowboarded since moving up to Summit County. It was 75 days. And so I was like, that sounds to some people, they're like, that's amazing. And to me, I was pissed. I was so mad. I was like, what am I doing with my life? This is not the life I signed up for. I'm supposed to be a snowboarder and I'm only going 75 days. Like, this is not okay. So I came up with this plan, and my wife will say it's her idea. And it kind of was, but I kind of like knew what I wanted, but I just had to like finagle it to where she said it. And then it became her idea. But I was just like, dude, this Frito-Lay job sucks. I hate being told what to do. Like, it's killing me. And she was like, I feel like you're figuring out stuff with this YouTube channel. And at this point we had 7,000 subscribers. So we only got 3,000 subscribers in the second year doing YouTube as well. Yeah. And she was like, if you could promise me our life won't change, you could quit your job and try this YouTube thing full time. And she said it once and I ran with it. I was like, that's it. All right. She said it. We're good.
That's all I need.
I'm quitting my job. And to any listeners out there, I highly don't recommend quitting your job with 7,000 subscribers, but I caught almost like a moment in time / my audience is so different than a typical, whether you like what sport you play, because snowboarding is a ton about community, but also a lot of people that actually do snowboarding have money in a way, because it's an expensive sport. Not everyone can afford to ski and snowboard. So it's normally people that are more established in life that have it. So I was like, I have a clientele that actually could buy stickers, could buy t-shirts, they could buy all this stuff that I present. So if you are thinking about quitting your job with 7,000 subscribers, make sure you know your audience before you do it. If your audience is a bunch of 12-year-olds, I don't recommend it because they don't have money. They have parents' money.
Yeah. Although there is this one kid, I don't know his name, but he's like one of the most successful YouTubers. He's like 7 or something ridiculous. I think he like opens boxes or I don't know what.
Ryan's Toy Review. He's older now, but yeah, there's a lot of affiliate links and good YouTube.
There's always a unicorn. There's always one.
There's always one.
Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely make it if you only had 12, but I mean, 7,000 subscribers is not a lot of. I mean, it's a ton of people, but money from YouTube, that was not what I was banking on at all. Mm-hmm. So when I quit my job with 7,000 subscribers, I like created a business plan. Like this is what I'm selling. This is my target for merch each month. This is my affiliate links, and this is how much I can need to like plug these to generate this much income. And there was so much strategy involved with it because I was like, yo, I'm taking a risk, but how hard I work for someone else to make money, I know if I put it towards me and my family, then we're gonna do well. And I had a little bit saved up, so in season 3, and I count my years basically now by my seasons. So season 3 of doing the YouTube channel, so year 3 of it. We got by. We did pretty good. I kind of dug into my savings account a bit, but like I still made money. I made money, kind of had to use savings account here and there because not every month is the same. Like obviously December, January are like your banger months. You got Christmas, you got everyone that's coming out for all their trips and stuff. So like that's when everything's doing great.
Yeah.
And I know I'm talking about like how I did it financially, but my whole purpose and why I did this is, once again, it's like, I want to be a snowboarder. I want to snowboard for a living. I told myself when I was moving up here, I literally remember the moment I was driving up in my car and I was like, I'm moving up here and I'm going to be a pro snowboarder. And that's what I told myself. And you can get into semantics. So many people love to send me messages because people love to put people down and say, you're not a pro snowboarder, you suck at snowboarding. But that's fine for them to think that or say that. I snowboard for a living. That's all I care about. And that's all I need to know.
Yeah. The difference between a pro and an amateur is one doesn't make money and the other does. So if you're making money doing what you love, you're a pro at it.
Yeah. I mean, I support a family of 3. And we're doing fine. And
people just, not everyone, most people are inherently good. I want to believe, but there's a small contingency of people that are probably miserable, and because they are miserable, they want to take it on someone who's essentially living the dream, his dream, right? Whatever that is, doesn't have to specifically be you. But every time I talk to people that are leaders in their industry or have really interesting YouTube channels or scientists, MMA fighters, whatever their profession is, they have a group of people that just love to shit talk and just put them down and make shitty comments. It's just, it's always going to be around. There's no way to circumnavigate around it.
Not at all, especially on the internet when you're talking about thousands and thousands of people. But I kind of changed my mindset. I enjoy it because I get like probably one hate message to every positive message I get on Instagram or comment in my YouTube videos and everything like that. And so it helps me not have a huge head / like it's kind of fun to troll them back.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy the art of trolling. Someone's going to say, you suck at snowboarding. And then I just reply, well, I get to do it every day. That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I don't know. It annoys me sometimes. Not the actual thing. I try to think about the psychology behind it. You had to go out of your way to go and write this comment or look at this person's video or listen to this person's podcast. Because I had someone that wrote really bad review of my podcast, and I'm like, dude, you had to like go out of your way to do that instead of like just listening to it and saying, yeah, I don't like it. But you had to make a point to say, no, this person's blah, 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 and just go on a tangent.
Yeah.
Why did you do that? It's like, how much don't you have shit to do with your day? Like, don't you have stuff to do?
I 100% agree. One thing I try to do too is think of the age of the person. Because if it's like an 8-year-old, 12-year-old kid, they don't know anything. But if it's like an adult and usually people have profile pictures or they have something posted on their account and they're adult, that's when I'm like, dude, you got to go grow up.
Yeah, you got to do some soul searching. Look inwards. Find something.
But
go ahead.
Okay, so what I was going to say is, so season 3, when I quit my job, I went full-time YouTube and got by. Like, our life didn't suffer. We had to use our savings account. And then that next summer was like the hardest period, one of the hardest periods of my life, because you don't make any money in the summer with what I do. It's crazy how the explosion I get in subscribers and in views and merch sales and everything at the beginning of the season. And then it slowly dwindles down throughout the whole season as people's attention starts shifting. And then in the summer, and it blows my mind because people will love to watch me snowboard, but they won't watch me like mountain bike. They won't watch me skateboard. They won't watch me do anything else. It's like, we're here for you to snowboard. And if you're not snowboarding, I'm not watching. And so it was a pretty tough summer. Going into the 4th year of doing it, and I knew it worked. It made good money, and every year you get bigger and you grow, and like a new growth is coming. But going into the 4th year, I wrote a rent check without the money in my bank account. And I was like, this is gotta work out. Like, This is the year, this is the true year, make it or break it. First year, whatever, like, here we go. And we had an incredible year last year. Definitely, I started making money. So I was actually able to build my savings account back to what it was, and was able to make that check clear, which is awesome, and stuff like that. So like, had an incredible year. The channel grew. I think the channel. So the channel was sitting around 14,000 subscribers going into the 4th year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had an incident at Keystone Ski Resort. And if you ever ride any of the Vail Resort owned mountains, they have these employees called mountain safety. They wear yellow jackets. They're called yellow jackets with all the snowboarders around. And their job is to enforce safety, especially on these bigger Colorado resorts that get 20,000 people showing up on a Saturday. It's madness. And so their job is to enforce safety, but all they really do is target snowboarders. And so I film every single run when I snowboard. And this is not an understatement. We show up, every run is filmed. You never know when there's going to be a good slam. You never know when something's going to happen. We film it all. Yeah. And so we were doing, Keystone doesn't have a lot of green runs, but for some reason, Vail Resorts tries to sell Denver that Keystone's the family resort and every family should come to Keystone. But it's not family friendly. I don't understand it. There's not any green terrain. They have technically have 2 green runs, but one of them is 3.5 miles long. What beginner rider should be riding for 3.5 miles? It's so long. They're dead. They're dead by the end of it. Anyways, that run is so long, and it's one of the runs from the top of the mountain all the way to the base where we normally park, that has like some of the best side hits. And it's just like a casual run. And at the end of one of our days of riding, we were kind of tired. A couple people in the group were like, oh, let's do one more run, but let's do a run, not the park. I was like, whatever, we can do it. So we did this run and we snowboarded it the way we normally snowboard. We're good snowboarders, so we snowboard faster than beginners, but we weren't bombing down the run and doing all this. Like, we were doing crazy tricks and stuff, but we were keeping it safe and everything. And one yellow jacket spotted us in a moment of kind of going fast. And he asked us to slow down, which is fine. And we did. But for some reason, he was like the head dude too, like the main mountain safety guy. He like radioed that we need to get stopped and put in a safety class.
What?
Yeah, and I don't know why. So he radioed that we we're out of control and everything like that. Off of literally, I mean, he max saw us for like 10 to 6 seconds.
Yeah.
On video. But so we were like riding down. We're literally almost done with this 3-mile long run. We get stopped at the very bottom by another mountain safety, and they're like, yo, you need to come with us. We need your passes. We're like, why? And they're like, you were flying down the run. You flipped out a bunch of us off. We tried to stop you. None of you guys stopped. We saw you like jumping over people and running past people. And we're like, what are you talking about? They're like, no, they're like, you did this. We're like, no, we didn't. We filmed it. We have the whole run on film. We didn't do it. And they were like, we don't care. We're not going to listen to you guys. You're going to safety class. And so, yeah, it was crazy. And so I made a video showing it and explaining it, being like, this is what they're accusing of us of doing. This is how they treated us. All this stuff, and showed these employees being horrible employees. And I was just like, yo, Vail Resorts, I'd love if you could remove this black mark off of our passes, because I do this for a living. It's a big deal, because what happens is now my pass, because they never did anything about it, I had to take the safety class, but my pass has a black mark on it. So if I ever get stopped again for a weird reason, they can check my pass and be like, oh, he's been stopped before. He took safety class. He's clearly not listening. Next penalty, which they can make it to where I can't ride for a week, 2 weeks, or even a whole season. They can remove my pass for a full season. And a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people don't know this about Vail Resorts. So they'll mark your account. So my account forever will have this black mark on it that I had to take safety class because I was riding recklessly, which I have video proof that I wasn't. So this video went viral, absolutely insane. And I got, from that video alone, I'm sure it's more now, but I got like a 1,000 or 11,000 new subscribers from that video alone.
Oh, wow. And
viral for me is 500. It's like at 570,000 views right now or something. So it'll be like my first video to hit 1 million. It's still getting a ton of views right now, which is awesome. And so I really grew that in season 4 because of that video. I wish I grew not because of controversy, but at the end of the day, I got to stand up for the average Joe snowboarder and for everyone that's been stopped by these people and accused of doing things that aren't really true. And I've seen so many times of situations. I have friends getting their passes pulled for like the silliest stuff.
Dude,
So it was nice to stand up for the community, and that's why the video did so well, is because people also have been kind of like targeted by the mountain safety guys.
Yeah, and because we are kind of drawn to things that look a little controversial, like especially on when there's so much content out there, what you click on it really comes down to the headline and to the thumbnail, and if those two kind of catch your attention, that's what people usually click on. But
Yeah,
that's crazy that they have that kind of power, because I mean, I'm not, I don't do anything crazy on the mountains, but I've seen a lot of people that do. And I've literally never seen anyone stop them and say, tisk, 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 like you shouldn't do this, and come to class and I'll teach you about, I don't know, safety.
yeah. Well, then that's the thing, is a lot of people also are like, "What? This exists? What is this?" Then they're super interested, and it's really a Colorado thing, and it's kind of showing up more in like the Tahoe areas and in Utah. But it's the bigger resorts, these like huge destinations where a family is going to spend $10,000 to come there for a weekend. Well, I buy $1,000 Epic Pass, and then you get no more and more money. And honestly, I actually make money off of you guys, so thank you. Uh, and so when it comes to like, we don't want you on this run, and if I can give you the weird thing is they didn't even give us a warning, but if they can try to get you to not ride that run and save that run for the person spending $10,000, which hopefully will come back next year, that's their goal. And so on the East Coast, I'm sure people are still spending thousands of dollars to go on like a mountain snow trip and stuff, but it's not as much as like a Breck, a Keystone trip, a Vail. Beaver Creek, I think, is the most expensive North American resort you can go ride at now. I think it took the cake last year as the most expensive resort you can go to.
How much?
I mean, they're talking from like, I think they said the average person, like, so out of a family of like 4, they spend $1,500 a day per person.
Whoa. On what would you be spending $1,500 a day on?
Butlers, chefs, I don't know. I hope so. Massages,
ski instructors, massages, I don't know, Michelin star restaurants maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Beaver Creek is fancy. If you've never been there, there's escalators everywhere. It's definitely bougier than Vail. Vail gets like the rep because it's one of the biggest, but like Beaver Creek's kind of like my getaway, because it's more of a destination resort. So like Denver's not really driving to it. It's more people going on trips to Beaver Creek. And because they're kind of fancier, they don't like to do like the tree runs and the harder stuff. They stick on the groomers. And so the on POW days, like Beaver Creek is a really fun place to go because there's so much fresh snow out there.
I've never been to Colorado, man. I'm dying. It's like, as far as places to go, US, it's number one for me. I just haven't been. I need to look into how much time it would take to drive. I think probably from Connecticut, maybe like 2-3 days tops.
Yeah, well, a couple 20 hours or something. 20 hours.
Yeah, probably like 20 to 30, 25 maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I have to look into it, but I'm dying to go, because I mean, what would you say for people who've never been to Colorado? What would be their go-to? What's one place with the best powder they have to go to?
All right. I mean, anything Colorado is going to have good powder. Like,
yeah.
Colorado, out of everything I rode in the United States, I haven't rode anything out of the world yet. I haven't even rode Canada. I'm more just in U.S. And it's kind of this mindset I have of like, why go to Japan or go to Europe when I still haven't gone to Jackson Hole in Wyoming?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, there's Colorado, or U.S. is so huge. Let's ride what we have in the U.S. first, and then I'll go experience other places. But Colorado, from where I've ridden, because I've ridden in Tahoe, I've ridden in Oregon, the East Coast, everything like that. Colorado's got the best POW. It's so soft and fluffy.
Really?
Do not go to Keystone on a powder day. Do not go to Breck on a powder day, because they're right next to Denver. So there's a powder day. Denver floods up here. So I don't even know how Denver makes it anymore, because I-70, the main highway, always shuts down. But all the Denverites get up here, and the powder's gone the first 2 hours max. I mean, the powder closest to 6 inches from a tree, there's nothing. You're finding literally nothing out there. If you can get a powder day, Vail, because it's so massive in Colorado, it takes a long time. And if you show up early, the nice thing is you just ride in sequence because it's like multiple bowls that goes further back. So you like start in the front of the mountain, then you get to go to the one bowl, then the next bowl, and you just slowly make your way to the back of Vail, and you get fresh powder the whole way. And then once you rode all that powder, you just come back and leave. Like, and so, but in Colorado, I'm not gonna lie, there's so many skiers and snowboarders out here. If you're not first chair or like first person there, like the chances of getting an untouched line disappear really, really quick.
Yeah.
However, I did have an insane powder day at Telluride last season, and it kind of like made Telluride one of my favorite resorts in Colorado. And I only went there for like 3 days, and I was like, dude, Telluride, this single powder day changed my life, I'm pretty sure. And then
we don't get a lot of those in the East Coast.
You know what's insane? My only time ever snowboarding in the East Coast, I got a powder day.
Oh man.
I flew out there, and it was
where'd you go?
I went to Mount Snow in Vermont, and there was about 4 to 5 inches of pow. I was like, what? And I was like, and it was so funny because I know it's the ice coast and everyone talks about how icy it is. I was like, dude, all you East Coast riders are liars, dude. This snow is amazing. And they're like, you got so lucky. And I got to actually like ride trees on the East Coast and stuff.
I mean, Vermont is definitely the best out here. You know, it's not even close. Not New Jersey, not Pennsylvania, not New York, not, I don't know, Massachusetts has some small ones. The majority of them are kind of small. Vermont's the only like big player, where they have Killington and J Peak and Shatton, Mount Snow, et cetera, Okemo. So they have some, you know, they have decent. I mean, it's not even decent. It's good. It's good. It's you could go for a week, for a weekend. Like I loved. I went to Killington. I loved it. I went to Stowe. I loved it. But again, it's not Whistler. It's not Vail.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that grandiose mountain feel where you're looking out these, or even when you go to like I've been to Europe a lot. There's just these unbelievable like vistas, just mountain ranges on mountain ranges, and it's another level.
When the mountains make you feel tiny, you're like, what's going on?
We don't have that in the East Coast. Those magnificent, you know, I don't know in Colorado how many 14ers you have, but it's a lot. It's like it's mostly mountains.
It's a ton of mountains. Well, the east side of Colorado is more of a desert, but the west side of Colorado is all mountains. And if you can afford it, a Silverton trip, which is pretty well known around the world resort, has a single chairlift. They only allow like maybe 200 people a day to ride there, and it's mainly heli snowboarding.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it's incredible. And I did that last year, and that blew my mind how cool it was and sick. And it's crazy. You watch these videos of these pro riders, and they're like, they get dropped off by the helicopter, and they drop off the peak of this mountain, and it's pow from the start to the finish. Well, in Colorado, it's very windy, and the top of the mountains get pretty wind burnt. And so you like get out of this helicopter, and you're ready to drop, and it's like super steep, super gnarly, but it's wind blowing snow, and it's super icy and scary.
Oh no!
It's like a hold on, wait a minute. I think this isn't Alaska. I don't know. It's definitely different. But once you get down the mountain a little bit, you get some really, really awesome powder in Silverton. But that's pretty pricey, and you got to be kind of on it because you got to like reserve your days early because they can get booked up and stuff like that. But if you, I think heliboarding is a must do. I'm kind of now on my mindset. I'm like, dude, I got to heliboard like 2-3 times a season because that kind of changed my life.
Yeah, I mean, it looks amazing. I've never done it. Again, it's like when I see them when I see like some helicopter put Travis Rice on like this mountain in Alaska, and it just looks like fluffy cotton balls the whole way down, and it just looks so soft. But you know, I don't think anybody, or maybe I don't know, or maybe everyone understands, but that is so extremely difficult and so scary.
Oh, yeah. If you go heliboarding, you're not doing what Travis Rice is doing at all. Not even close.
No.
And you have a guide and you have to follow these rules because it is still dangerous. And you're with a bunch of people. And because I was like the more advanced rider, I was the most advanced rider out of our group, I had to go last all the time just in case I had to go help somebody and stuff like that. And so, there's a lot to it that it's not just this, jump out of a helicopter and drop the freshest line of your life.
Like Rambo.
But with heliboarding, the coolest part about heliboarding is the helicopter. I mean, you're sitting on the peak of a mountain, and all of a sudden this helicopter comes out of nowhere. You just kind of barely hear it, screams around a peak, and it just comes flying inches. They land inches from you. And I think the helicopter pilot is probably like the coolest person I've ever seen in my life. He was like chilling with some Oakley shades, flying like a boss. Because like you could tell when he had no one in the helicopter with him, he was doing some art of flight moves and stuff. But when people were in it, he was flying super calm.
Yeah, he doesn't want to freak anyone out.
Yeah, dude. Seeing a helicopter nosedive off a peak of a mountain like is worth the money. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's on the bucket list. So I saw one of the videos, and I don't know if you said that you are attempting or you've already like done a percentage, but are you looking to ski all the resorts in the US or like a good portion of them? Like what's the plan?
All right. So I when I say something, I'm going to do it. And that's just who I am as a person. I'm not going to say I'm going to do something and I'm not going to not do it. So yeah, I have made the commitment, and I have said that I will ride every single resort in the United States. There's 470 of them.
470.
And wow. I think some new ones are going to pop up soon. So
even like the little ones?
Yeah. So there's a couple reasons. Okay. Some of it's strategy. So I make content for a living. Okay. My goal is to get more subscribers. The more people that watch the channel, the more money I can make. The more money I can make, the cooler things I can do in the industry. Because my goal is to truly turn this into a business, a snowboard brand, do this as long as I can. So obviously we got to make some money to make that happen. So if I ride every resort in the United States, that means every single season, someone cannot search a ski resort and not find me. So
smart.
Yeah. So, and there's this, it's magical. I can't explain it. But the moment you ride someone's resort, especially a tiny ski resort, because there's that one kid there that rides it every single day. And he watches my videos of me riding Keystone. He's like, dude, one day I'll get to Keystone, but right now this is all I have. Well, if I go to his ski resort, he loses it. He thinks I'm the coolest person ever. Like, how could you come here? Why? Oh my goodness! And I'm doing it for the subscribers, the people, the supporters. I like to call them supporters more than subscribers. But I show up, and usually I like give a heads up if I'm going to like a small resort. So I like went to Wild Mountain in Minnesota, and like 20 kids showed up, and they were so excited I was there. And then it's just a good vibe. And for me, I love snowboarding. I don't love powder. I don't love park. I don't love single things. I love what is snowboarding. So getting a good crew together, and even if I'm just doing ollies all day, or if I'm riding switch the whole day, but I'm on my snowboard, I'm having like the sickest day ever. And so I don't know. It's a crazy goal, and the crazy goals are the ones that are usually the best, or the ones that get accomplished. I don't know. There's like a saying about, if you're going to make a goal, make it ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so why not? It's a kind of a why not. I do it for a living. Why not? Like, why not go ride everything? And there, on the other aspect of another why I want to do it is, then I'll have all the knowledge about it. You can't mention a ski resort and me be like, oh, I don't know. I've never been there. I don't know. It's like, yo, I've been there. And I can refer people to those videos. And I started a new series on my YouTube channel called the Resort Review series. So I review all these ski resorts that I've been to, and I have 10 categories, and each category is rated 0 to 10. 0 being not applicable, they don't have it. 1's terrible, 5's average, and 10's best in the world. And so at the end of it, out of 10 categories, each resort gets a 1 or a 0 to 100 score. And then you can kind of decide, do you want to go on this trip or go to this resort? Like, do you really like riding park? Well, then that's why you should go to Mount Snow. Do you want to ride blacks? Well, then don't go to Mount Snow. Mount Snow's resort review video is dropping tomorrow. I just filmed that today. So
that's awesome.
And so I'll have a resort review video, hopefully, for every single resort in the United States.
What number are you on right now as far as the amount of ski resorts?
Oh, if I look, I got a little map on the side of me that has like every resort, and I'm probably at like 40. So
you got some ways.
But see, once again, I do this for a living. I make these videos for a living. Like, this is, so many people think of it as in the macro, or not the macro. They want it now. They want it instant. Like, I want to ride all the resorts. Well, I got to do it today. Well, it's going to take me 10 years plus to ride every single resort in the United States. But now I have a reason to go make a trip to the East Coast every single season, even if it's the nastiest, iciest, worst conditions of all time, at least I'm going to that ski resort and I'm still accomplishing one of my goals and getting kids stoked, which is one of the major reasons why I love what I'm doing is all the kids that get hyped and really enjoy watching and just helping them love snowboarding more, but also teaching them about snowboarding is not a very accepting sport, at least at the higher level, like almost like skateboarding. Like you're that kid that shows up at the skate park, you can't really do anything. You can go ask someone and usually they'll be accepting, but like it's intimidating. You're like, I don't know anything. And like, no one's really showing me how to know anything. And so if I can help people with the local secrets, teach them how to do things better, quicker, hopefully more people love snowboarding, more people doing it, the longer snowboarding will be around.
Yeah, there's you could probably snowboard the whole of the Northeast in one season. To be honest, yeah. It's not as big. Like you could go from the massive mountains of Connecticut to Massachusetts. Like, yeah, I think the mountains in Connecticut, Massachusetts are pretty tiny. Like they're not. I haven't been yet. I've only been to New York and Vermont, and they're again, it's fun. Vermont's amazing, but all the other ones, like if you're looking to literally hit each and every one, like there's so many like little hills, you could probably do the whole run in like a minute.
Yeah, and I've thought about that too. I might cheat and do a couple in a day on the East Coast.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, New York has 36 ski resorts. It's the most resorts in out of any state.
I saw that Colorado used to have over 200.
What?
And now, yeah, Colorado used to have over 200, and now they have just over 30.
Yeah, it's not too many. And so one of my goals this year is to knock out Colorado. There's still a couple of Colorado resorts I haven't hit. And you'd be surprised. One of my number one questions is, what's your favorite Colorado ski resort? What's your favorite ski resort? Well, I haven't been to them all, so I can't pick. But after I ride them all, I have that answer for you guys.
Hopefully. Or you'll have I can't pick. They're all too good.
Yeah, dude, that is like, once again, I'll probably pick like Highland Hills in Minnesota, which if you've never been, I don't know how good you are at snowboarding or if you ski, but if you're a good snowboarder, I have a challenge for you, all right, listeners, everyone out there. If you're a good snowboarder, go to Minnesota, fly to Minneapolis. It's like 10 minutes from the airport. Go to a tiny hill called Highland Hills. It's a tow rope park. They got some runs, but it's more of like a tow rope. The whole mountain's basically, or hills, like a train park. And you're going to get ran over by 100 5-year-olds. And like the tow rope, they don't stop the tow rope. It goes like 90 miles per hour. It's so hard to figure out. I never rode a tow rope in my entire life. My buddy Benton was like, yo, we're going to go right here. This is where I grew up, how to ride. And I'm like, I always have a camera in my hand. So I'm holding a camera trying to get on this tow rope, which doesn't work. And I was humbled so hard being a pretty solid snowboarder, being like, dude, this tow rope thing is like beyond me. So I've made it a mission the last 3 years to like figure out how to ride a tow rope like a Minnesota kid, because it makes you a better human. I feel like it's so hard, and getting ran over by a 5-year-old is not fun, but then they'll be like, get out of my way, man. You're like, oh, come on, dude.
Dude, there is nothing about what you just said that sounds fun to me. There's nothing that sounds
gnarly. Like, if you want to be put in your place, do it.
Oh, screaming 5-year-olds toppling you, the freezing cold of Minnesota. Like, there's nothing about that sounds
You know what's insane is every time I've gone to Minnesota, it hasn't been freezing cold. I have not experienced Minnesota cold yet. Really? I think they're liars. Yeah. It's like the East Coast and their ice. I haven't experienced it yet.
Don't. It's all conspiracy, man. They're trying to get you. Every time you go in, you're seeing. It's all lies, man.
Yeah.
Don't believe it.
Yeah. So kind of wrapping up where it was with the season. So now I'm into my 5th season. So this year is my 5th year doing snowboard YouTubing on YouTube. And I don't know if it's because of COVID. I don't know if it's because of, I did a lot in season 3 to 4 where I made searchable videos, really kind of setting up what I call evergreen content. So I can make a video that's like, I broke my hand and only my subscribers are going to watch that video. Or I can make a video titled Snowboarding Powder at Breckenridge. Well, that's a searchable video. Well, I've have that video made now. I have like snowboarding groomers at Breckenridge. I've made enough vlogs and videos to where those exist. So maybe it's like all that work over the years coming to fruition. And now the start of the season, anything someone searches, they're finding. for the most part. And so I'm having like one of the best starts to the season, actually the best month of my life making content, actually doing anything for work. I'm having the best month of my life. And I'm really optimistic and excited for this season, despite all of the COVID rules and people's worries with this season.
Yeah, well, it's a cool thing that with YouTube and I guess with most of these things that there's a huge backlog of content that people can go and search, and you can, like I've seen this sometimes even with my podcast. All of a sudden there'll be some episode where I see the numbers jump overnight, but it's like an episode that I did 3-4 months ago. I'm like, why? And I don't know why. That was driving. I'm like, why did like 100 or 200 people all of a sudden like download this again?
Yeah.
So it is cool when that happens. Like, I just wish I had better insight as
you
why.
wish you knew. Yeah.
Exactly.
And this would be for the viewers out there. And I encourage everyone, you just do it. Do it when no one's watching, because you never know when someone's going to go back and find those videos. Because I have videos from the first season maybe doing YouTube that get comments and views and like for some reason exploded and are doing great now. And I'm like, man, I wasn't even good at YouTube back then. But by making those videos, I've gotten a lot better at making the content. And now going into this season, I feel like I know how to make titles and thumbnails. And thumbnails are so important when it comes to YouTube, but make titles and thumbnails that people are really interested in. And I want to give you a compliment. Your podcast thumbnails, I guess they would be called, are incredible. I think you do a great job on them.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate that.
Very professional.
Nice to get a nice, a good word in. Thanks, man. The funny part is that we're living in a beautiful yet weird time as how I'm seeing it. It's beautiful because someone like yourself can pursue his passion, be up in the mountains, snowboarding, create content, and make a living, and even be very profitable. So that is a beautiful thing that wasn't available to people 10 years ago, right? It's a very new...
It blows my mind.
Yeah, it's a new phenomenon.
And I encourage everyone to chase their dreams, because even in a niche, there's niches. And like with the snowboard community that makes YouTube videos right now, there's about 7 big channels. Well, one guy specializes in just carving his snowboard. His name is Ryan Napton, the most incredible carver of a snowboard I've ever seen. He's a unicorn. Like no one, he's the best. Wow. And he has a YouTube channel, and he does very well. And some people make like just how-to videos or just tech videos, and there's niches in your niche. So whatever you are really into, just pursue it. And the one thing that will make it where it actually works is consistency. Too many people cannot follow through on what they say. And so I hope when I ride every single ski resort in the United States that you bring me back on this podcast, so all the listeners can know that I accomplished that goal.
Oh, 100%, dude. I'll even join you in some.
Back on the East Coast.
Oh yeah, or maybe I'll come to the West Coast. I have to. I mean, I've been to the West Coast a couple of places, but like I said, not in Colorado yet.
Yeah, I'll take you out. I'll show you where all the good power is. We ain't gonna waste your run. You got to wake up early though.
I'm an Army boy. I'm used to waking up early.
All right, good.
But to what the point I was not the point, but what I was saying earlier was, it is an amazing time, but the reason I think it's a weird time is everyone is a creator now, right? Like you have YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, I don't know, whatever other platforms exist that the kids are using, but there's like a lot of voyeurism that's happening. We're privy to people's inner lives, and especially with vlogging. Like sometimes I'll find myself watching a video of, I don't know, off the grid living. This couple's living somewhere in, I don't know, British Columbia, and I'll watch it for 30, 40 minutes. And it's not that like, it's pretty raw footage. Like a lot of it's unedited, and it's not like what you were used to as far as watching a show or a movie or traditional television. And I just feel like this whole new phenomena that's happening now with YouTube and, like I said, TikTok and all the other stuff is it's like that fly on the wall phenomena where you can get a peek into people's lives. And a lot of times it's much more interesting than watching a show on Netflix or watching a movie on Hulu. And I spend a lot of time, and I know a lot of people do, like watching good content on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, it's when it comes to like me, I'm just a dude that likes to snowboard and loves it and does it with my friends, and I share it with you. And you can feel the fun and the energy, and it's real. And I think people are super attracted to real. And I'm not gonna lie, I use Pawn Stars as a great example. It started off as a super cool, crazy show where people are buying these insane pawned items, and you're like, "What? This is amazing!" And then you can tell as the seasons got on, it got later that they were planting the items. It's not real anymore. It's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like, that dude like doesn't even own those items. He's just an actor. And so that's what you see with TV a lot. Even like the HGTV home renovations things, those first 2 seasons are usually the best seasons. And then the next couple are like, you can tell that Hollywood's taking control and now it's not as genuine. And people love authenticity. And so what I encourage anyone that's getting into creating, because like you said, everyone's a creator. I mean, if you have an Instagram, you're probably posting a story, you're probably sharing a cool photo. That's content. You're creating something.
Mm-hmm.
Just be yourself though, and be genuine. Like that's what's going to rise and what people are going to enjoy watching. Because if you're trying to fake it, if you're doing that Hollywood stuff, no one's going to really enjoy actually watching it. And I struggle harder than anything now that I do it at such a high level. And I mean, there are strategies I think about when I make a video and stuff, but it's still me being genuine with my friends and riding and taking advantage of what the day presents itself. But when people catch on to that, they bail. They're like, dude, I'm not watching this. This is not what I signed up for. Or like, I mean, I can't do it. I think it was where I lost myself. What I was saying is when I watch creators make something and I can tell the person that they're messing with or doing with is acting, I'm like, dude, I can't do this. This is dumb.
Yeah. I feel like authenticity is super important. There's, if you look at, I don't know, someone like Joe Rogan, right, who talks for anywhere from 2 to sometimes 4 or 5 hours of a podcast, and it's literally him having a conversation with another guy, and it's interesting, and it's not edited. It's just raw. He doesn't cut it, and he doesn't like, like there's a whole hour here where it wasn't very interesting. He just puts it out there, and people watch, a good chunk of it, and people love it. And I was
going to say, he's not afraid to speak his mind and disagree. And he's not just there pandering somebody. He's going to be honest and be true to himself, which is one thing I like about Joe Rogan.
Yeah. And I feel like that's probably what a lot of people like about him. It's just he speaks to a broad audience. If you're into martial arts, if you're into smoking weed, if you're into hunting, if you're into whatever it is you're into, he can, science, aliens. There's a little bit for everyone. But it's this new age, a new era of content that is just so different than what it was 10, 15 years ago, with everything accessible straight away, with live streaming, with people who are super creative in their field. Doesn't matter if it's snowboarding or other creators, and it's all just right there, and it's raw. And I don't want to say it's never going to overtake movies, but it's definitely going to take up, I think, a larger portion or a larger chunk of our attention spans with time.
Well, I think the most impressive thing about it all is the amount of education you can find. Because when I was like, yo, I'm going to quit my job, or I want to quit my job in the second year of me doing the YouTube channel, I was like, but I have so much to learn. And I was able to, in the season 2 and season 3, and I still do it now, learn literally everything from running a business to how to do YouTube to how to be a better human and mindset, and literally anything educational you want to find is available on the internet. If you're having a bad day and you don't feel motivated, you literally can type motivation on YouTube, and someone's going to be motivating the crap out of you to get some stuff done. And maybe you'll need those on those days, because when I built what I have going for me too, there were multiple nights of 2 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep. And we all know how important sleep is. You need to get it. But at a certain point, you have to be willing to sacrifice something in order to achieve your goal, especially if you're working a job. And I did all this, once again, married with a newborn child. And I I refuse to give up that time with my family, and still to this day, I refuse to do it. So late nights, early mornings, I'm willing to put in that work in order to still get the quality family time that I get, as well as snowboard and do that work aspect. So if you do want to start something up, there are going to be those days where you worked all day and it sucked, but now it's time to get to your craft. And Joe Rogan said this: the pro goes to work. You're not going to feel great every single day. Show up and do it.
Yeah, he conquer your inner bitch. That's one of his best lines.
Yeah.
You don't want to go outside. It's cold. You don't want to work out. You don't want to do. Just gotta conquer your inner bitch. That's
and so I snowboard. Literally, I snowboard 5 to 6 days a week. I try to make sure I get at least one day off of riding off the mountain for my body's sake. It's not good to always be using your body like that. But some of the days where I wake up and I'm like, dude, it's nasty outside. It's windy. It's cold. Like it's negative 10 degrees out. I don't want to go ride today, and my camera's not going to work that well, and it's going to be hard to film this. Those days that I force myself to go out normally end up being the best days, because you got to pivot. You got to do something different. You might find a new pow stash. You might just have a good day with one of your best friends. It usually ends up being the days that you're like fighting it that tend to be the best days.
Yeah. Would you, because like you said earlier, in the summertime, it tends to be a lull in activity, both for you and the channel. Would you consider doing like going to Chile or New Zealand, Australia, something like that?
That is the dream. And it's going to happen. Once again, the United States is incredible. People don't know, and I just kind of figured it out, how to snowboard year round. Like you can do that in the US.
Mount Hood?
Mount Hood is, you can ride Mount Hood for the majority of the summer. And then, once again, in Virginia, they have a dry slope. And now we have a snow dome in the US. I'm surprised we only have one, but we do have a snow dome now. So like riding year round in the US is possible. And this was the first year I did it. And not only did it help my riding tremendously, and my confidence this season is higher than ever because I feel like I'm riding at my end of season level in the beginning. So I'm really excited for like all the terrain parks to open up and for me to really push my body. I'm trying to land a backside 1080 this year, which is going to be really exciting. But New Zealand, Australia, once again, experiencing everything snowboard has to offer. I want to experience it all because I'm in a position where people are coming to me for the answers. So let's go experience it. Let's have these answers. By the time I'm done with this, I'm going to be able to answer everything for you. I've done it. I've been there. And so that's my goal.
That's awesome. So, yeah, I mean, the U.S. is really big. The U.S. is massive. I don't know if I could, you said 130 days. Like, is there any toll that it takes on your body?
I would say so. Not really, because if you're doing it every single day, your body gets into a rhythm with it. It's normally the beginning of the season it used to be, because I rode all summer long, which was nice. Yeah. But that like 0 to 1,000, like here we go, start of the season, it just opened up. We're riding every single day, making all this content. That would take a toll on my body. It's more the inability to recover from injuries. So like a great example, I got a concussion about a week ago. I smacked my head so hard, just kind of random, doing a trick that I've done 10,000 times. Only time I've ever fallen on it, caught an edge catch, probably going like 35 miles per hour, and smacked my head so hard.
Damn.
And the weirdest part about the concussion is by the time I got to the bottom of the mountain, the only thing playing through my head were my dreams. And I kind of like don't dream too much. I like fall asleep and wake up is what it feels like, but everyone dreams. And so I'm like, my friends are trying to talk to me, and on replay were just my dreams. Like it's always in my conscious. I couldn't like really communicate with people because my brain was taken over by my dreams.
Yeah.
And it went on for like 3 hours to like every single dream I've had the last couple months played through. It was insane. I've never had anything like that before. So that like wrecked my neck. It kind of hurt my back. Like my knees got slammed from it. And I did take 2 days off after, but I need to still make content. And I can make some content from the house and like the resort review videos and stuff, but other resorts are opening up and my channel's exploding. So it's like, all right, I can kind of nurse this at home, or I can just nurse it on the mountain, still go out and ride, but ride slower and do things that aren't going to, because I've snowboarded so much, I can go out and be like, I'm not falling today. Like I have that ability to be like, I'm not hitting the ground. So I'm more doing that type of riding, but I would say this season has been one of the harder seasons for me for my body, because my body is just from that slam, and then opening day Wolf Creek, I hit a rock. They opened up with a ton of powder. They opened up the whole mountain, and I just ended up finding one rock under the fresh snow, and my whole left butt cheek turned purple. Like literally the whole left butt cheek turned purple. So like that's still an injury that I'm kind of nursing. And so it's like you take these slams and like you still got to make content. And obviously when that slam happens that like I physically cannot go out and ride, my supporters will understand, my subscribers. But I kind of just like you said, tell my inner bitch to shut up and let's go.
Dude, when you hit the butt cheek, I hate when that happens sometimes, when you just fall hard, especially out here sometimes when it's icy. It's like, it's just, it sucks.
Crash pants. If you don't have them, crash pants save butts. It's like a padded shorts that you wear underneath.
Yeah, I've seen those. I don't know. For me, I need to be comfortable. For me, like the most important thing is comfort.
Well, buy an expensive pair. The more expensive, the more comfortable.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. My friend, he has like the knee pads, the butt pad, the whole pads, but I don't know. I like to go like as minimalist as possible. Like I don't like a lot of shit on me.
Yeah, only crash pads.
I don't know. Pads, maybe if I hit my butt enough times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does one improve? How does one get from where they are right now? It doesn't matter if it's a beginner, intermediate, or maybe a little bit more advanced. Like how is there a path for them? Are there some tricks of the trade, just ways for them to get better?
There's truly only one way to get better at snowboarding, and that is to actually snowboard. You can watch some videos that can speed up the process, but unless you're on your snowboard, you're not getting better. Your gear does not matter. When you're riding at a 1% level of snowboarding, that's when you can start looking into things that are going to give you a 10%, a 5% increase in your riding ability and everything like that. But dude, go buy a Goodwill snowboard, get out there and try to snowboard as much as possible. Because the more you actually snowboard, the better you'll get at snowboarding.
Yeah, those I hear the little kid in the back.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. The 3-year-old. He sounds
worries, man. What are you gonna do? It's is he riding already?
Oh yeah, he's gone like 25 times, something like that.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
Every single day. It's like the hardest part of my day is hopefully I can get out of the house before he wakes up. If he wakes up, it's like crying, like, take me snowboarding. And I'm like, dude, it's all white ribbons of death, dude. I refuse to take that and have someone smoke you.
That's amazing. Because when I ski in Austria, man, like they'll let these little kids on the mountain, like they're like 5 inches tall, like 4-year-old kids. And, you know, it's almost like it's so steeped in tradition there that they just go by themselves. Like these little kids, you'll have these groups of like these little kids, and they're just whizzing by you. And like, there's no mom around, no dad around, no crying. I'm like, that's amazing how they do it over there.
That's my plan. I really hope that this is my ultimate dream. I want this to happen. I want to like roll up on some like gnarly run or some insane jumps, and like there's all these people around that are scared to do it. They're like, I don't know, man. Like and then my 5-year-old just comes shooting past and just tears them. Like, oh my goodness, this kid.
I can already see like the thumbnail and the headline for the YouTube video.
The big thing for me is I don't want to use my kid to make money on the internet.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that. I find it kind of disgusting. My kid's a part of my life. And so, yeah, there'll be some titles and thumbnails where like me and Roman did this and all this stuff, but he's an add-on to my life. He makes my life better. I'm not trying to force him to be a professional snowboarder, do all this stuff. Like I said, that's one of my dreams. I hope that happens. But if he hates snowboarding and wants to ski, he can ski. If he doesn't want to go outside in the cold and wants to play music, I'm going to support that so hard because I know what it's like to have a passion and want to chase it at the highest level. And so, and I don't expect his passion to be the same as my passion. And so if it is, I hope I'm going to obviously help him to do it and everything. But all I care is if he wants to do it with me, it'd be sick. Yeah, we'll get him some videos and it's going to be a good time. People are going to watch him grow up. But even if he like becomes an Olympic level snowboarder, it's not going to be look at Roman, watch Roman do all this stuff. It's going to be like my take of my son being in the Olympics.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. All right, I know you got to go. I got to go as well soon. So I want to thank you so much for your time, man. This was awesome.
This was amazing. This is my first ever podcast.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I've never done one. So when I got the email, I was like, let's go. I'm clearly going somewhere. I'm invited to a podcast.
Dude, I mean, you're a natural. You're good. You know, you create good content. You're genuine. You're authentic. You speak well. I mean, it's the whole package, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much. Likewise.
And hopefully we can shred either on the East Coast or on the West Coast. If not this year because of COVID, then maybe next year, man, when you reach, I don't know, 100, 150 resorts, something along those lines.
Yeah. I mean, I'll promise you, I'm doing a week on the East this year. That's the one thing I can guarantee. So if you can't make it out to Colorado, I'll be out in that area.
Yeah, man. Keep me posted. I'm down. I'm in the area, so keep me posted.
All right.
And where can people find you on? Where's the best places?
All right, if you search Johnathan Buckhouse on YouTube, and you can spell it however you want, you're going to find me on YouTube. But if you're looking for me on Instagram, it's Johnathan Buckhouse, JohnAthan, and then it's just Buckhouse, like how it sounds phonetically. And I think just follow me on those two platforms, and I'll do my some jobs there, plugging you to other resources. But yeah, check out the YouTube videos, guys. It's all about just stoke and having fun on the mountain. And I do try to help people become better snowboarders. I say at the end of every video, my goal is to help you become the best snowboarders possible. But I'm finding out that like 30% of my audience is skiers, and they really enjoy like all the pass updates I do and resort reviews and things like that. So if you're a skier, still come check it out.
Yeah, if you ski, you're okay.
Yeah, you're okay. Right. We feel like you.
It's all right. It's not ideal, but whatever. Yeah. No, but guys, check out his YouTube channel. It's really good. I really enjoy the videos, and I'm sure you will as well. So, Johnathan Buckhouse, thanks so much. I really appreciate the time, man. I had a blast.
Thank you, guys. I had a ton of fun as well.
All right, man. We'll be in touch.
All right.
Bye.